everybody, it's me again. So today I thought I would do the my first time tag. I was requested to do this by a few people, and I haven't really thought about it that much. Basically what it is the my first time tag is a tag full of questions about the first things in your life, like your first steps, like your first date, different stuff like that. So I thought that it'd be kind of fun to do it, and that I would try giving it, a shot. Question number 1 is, what is your first memory? My first memory was probably me crying in my crib at some point. I just remember that very vaguely. I just remember crying in my crib for some unknown reason. I was probably hungry or something. Question number 2 is, what was your first word? That is easy. My first word was dada, I think. It might have been. What was your first phone? My first phone was 2 years ago. At the very beginning of 6th grade, I got my brother's old phone, and it was the first phone I had where it was like my own number, and I ended up breaking it. I dropped it on the ground, and it's cracked right in half, and it was so cracked that I couldn't pick it up without hurting my thumb on glass. So that's always fun. What was your first pet? My own first pet was a goldfish named Tubby, and he lived in a glass bowl right by my bedside table. So, R.I.P. Tubby. He lasted for about 2 months. But my first, big proper pet was a little kitty named Carly. You've seen her in previous videos. She is my baby, my one true love, and the only one who gets me in this world. So, love you, Carly. What was your first family holiday? I don't know what it means by holiday. I think it means vacation. I don't know. These questions might be from the UK. But my first family vacation. I think it was probably right after my cousins were born. The twins, Bryce and Lainey, you've seen them in the cousin tag and on my vlog channel. My first family vacation was when we went to go down to visit them. Right after they were born, we did a 18-hour drive to Charlotte, North Carolina, or were they living in Georgia? Georgia, they were living in Georgia. So we drove all the way down to see them, and I got to hold them for the first time. It was actually the first baby I ever held. So that was a lot of fun, and that was my first, proper family vacation. Question number 6. What was the first song you really, really liked? I really used to like the theme from Blue's Clues and the theme song from Dora, but I would say the first, proper, pop song that I really liked was Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. I was absolutely obsessed with that song, and I just played it on repeat for about 2 years. That's how obsessed I was with it. First sport you played outside of school. The first sport I played outside of school was soccer. I played that for 3 years, and I stopped after my eye got stepped on by a cleat because I don't want to ruin this face. Although it'd probably be an improvement. How old were you when you lost your first tooth? I was 6 years old. I was in kindergarten, and it was a loose tooth, and I remember this day so clearly. We were heading to gym right after lunch, which, by the way, it doesn't make sense why they would put gym right after lunch. I mean, that would just make more kids more likely to puke. I don't know, that's my opinion, but just seems a little bit weird to me. We were on our way to gym from lunch, and I had this thing where I used to think I was a dog, and I put my lunchbox in my mouth, and I carried it around like a dog. And then all of a sudden, my friend started screaming because there was blood on my mouth, and she said, "Oh my god, you just lost your first tooth." So I ran to the nurse's office, and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And they gave you one of those little tooth boxes so you can carry it home. I remember that I got a $5 bill from the Tooth Fairy that night. So, thanks, Tooth Fairy. First friend in junior school. I don't know if this means junior high or if it means elementary school. I'm gonna go with elementary school. Let me think. My first friend was somebody I'm not friends with anymore. I'm not gonna mention any names. But she was my first friend, and we were friends for a couple of years, and then we kind of broke it off after a year or 2 ago because just for reasons. But I think my first friend was another girl named Emily, and we became very good friends because our names were both Emily. And then another one of my close friends was my very first boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, and his name was Kyle, and we just kind of, hung out, and I think he was my first friend, and it was very romantic how he asked me out. He asked me out on the bus to kindergarten. So, thanks, Kyle. Okay, so your first job. My first proper job was a babysitting job that I got 2 years ago, and that I still do. If you've seen my challenge, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge tag on my channel, those are the girls that gave me my first job, so thank you very much for that. My hair keeps getting in my way. So that was my first proper job. First celebrity crush. My first celebrity crush was probably either Tom Cruise or the guy who voiced Diego on Dora, because I had a huge crush on Diego and Dora, and I was just obsessed with him. When was your first sleepover? Now, I've always had kind of anxiety about sleeping over other people's houses. It's very difficult for me because it's like I'm not in a controlled environment. I don't know what's there. But my first sleepover was with my friend Shannon Douglas, and you can search her up on YouTube. She has an amazing channel. So she was my first sleepover, and she made me feel very, very welcomed. We spent the entire night talking about our crushes and playing the Wii and watching stupid movies. First concert you ever went to? My first concert was the Jonas Brothers concert, and I fell in love. I love the Jonas Brothers, even to this day, even if they're not together. I'm obsessed with Nick Jonas. I love Joe Jonas. Don't exactly know what happened to Kevin. Does anybody? I know he got married, but I don't know if he has like a kid or something. But yeah, the Jonas Brothers, absolutely amazing. I love them. Okay. First date. My first date was with my ex-boyfriend from this past year. His name was Schmieder, we'll call him. And we went on a date. He took me to frozen yogurt, and then we walked around the dollar store, and then we went to Target, and then he dropped me back home. But it was a lot of fun because he paid for yogurt, and like we hung out around the dollar store. And really, he was a great guy. Things just didn't work out, and I think he was the perfect guy to experience a first date with. So, thanks, Schmieder. First time you ever told a lie. I think the very first time I ever told a lie was when my brother and I were jumping up and down on my parents' bed. Just normal kid stuff. And he shattered the glass above my parents' bed with his head. There was like a little ceiling fan, and there was like a glass bulb that protected the light bulb. And he hit it, and he shattered it on his head. He wasn't hurt, thank God. But my parents came running up, and they were like, who did it, who did it, who did it? And I was like, I didn't do it, Josh did it. And I don't think it was actually a lie. I think I just threw him under the bus. Speaking of Josh. Okay, so the next question, we're getting down to the last 5, was first YouTube video. My first YouTube video was called My First Video. It's now private because, as you guys know, I used to have a different username, and it didn't really make sense for me to keep a video with the old username. So I made that one private, as well as the other videos with that username. So sorry about that, guys, but what are you gonna do? Next question is first time you ever skipped class. Call me a goody-goody. I've never skipped class. That just seems wrong to me. So.
I'm what?
Yes? Okay. Almost done. Next question is first time wearing makeup and first makeup product. These are 2 questions combined. The first time I wore makeup was for my aunt's wedding, and it was basically just the tiniest bit of eyeshadow and a little bit of lip gloss. And my first makeup product was the Natural Eye Palette from Claire's. It contained eyeshadow, mascara, and lip gloss. And I remember I was terrified of the mascara, so I wouldn't even touch it. So my friend had to come over and do the mascara for me. Next question is, what was your first stuffed animal? I think I might actually have it. Hold on. Okay, so I don't have it, as you can see. I just tore apart my closet looking for it. It's probably somewhere downstairs, but I'm too lazy to look. So my first stuffed animal was a tiny bear, and it was like a lamb or something, and it said like I love Jesus. I think I got it at my christening, so that was probably my first stuffed animal. First crush. My first crush was on my first ex-boyfriend, Kyle, and I didn't even really have a crush on him. I think after he asked me out is when I started having a crush on him. So, yeah. And finally, the question is, first person that texted you on your phone. Let me just check. So if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, it is my cousin Ellie, and she sent me just a sup with a little crown because I said, "Hey queen," and sup with a little crown. And the final question is, first time being out of the country. I actually have never been out of the country. Is the Bahamas in the country? I don't think so. Anyway, I've never been out of the country before, but I would still love to be out of the country. I really want to go to London. Fortunately, I couldn't go, but I got a little teddy bear when my mom went for my cousin's wedding. So, yeah. I really want to go to London. That's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave me a comment if you enjoyed it. And I will see you lovelies later. Bye.